Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're just joining me for the first time, hi, my name is Angelfish, pronouns they, them, and today we are covering a topic that has been on my brain for a bit, and it has been on the Monster High community's brain ever since the first live-action Monster High movie came out, which is where the fuck are the dolls, Mattel? YouTube's not gonna like me for saying that in the first 20 seconds of a video. Anyway, if you couldn't tell by the swearing, this is a channel intended for adult collectors and adult fans of Monster High. Specifically, I think I've just become a Monster High channel at this point. I'm gonna fully succumb to that. It wasn't intentional at the start, but that's where we're going, because that is my special interest, and this channel is an autism project. I can say that as an autistic adult. It's fine. Anyway, addressing the question at the start of this video, where the fuck are the movie dolls, Mattel? That is the question that has been bouncing back and forth between several people in the Monster High community. Way too many people to count. To where last year, in September, leading up to the premiere of the second Monster High movie on Nickelodeon, when Mattel themselves made custom dolls, one of a kind, to promote the movie, a lot of people got their hopes up real quick for like 5 seconds until we all saw the hashtag OOAK in the comments, and not comments, in the description of the TikTok post that they made. That was enough to prove that the movie looks can be translated into doll form and them look really, really appealing to the consumer. The amount of people that have been wanting movie dolls was already high, but now it's even higher now that we know that it can be done. And as you can see from what I have in front of me, I myself have been doing movie looks into doll form. And this video is just sort of talking about, my thoughts on the costuming of each of the characters that I did, the specific costumes that I did. I have 5 dolls to get through today. This isn't really like a review, this is just sort of like, oh, here's what I did, and I will tell you sort of step by step, sort of like little things that I would tweak or give advice to if you want to recreate the movie looks for yourself, since that's probably the only way that we're gonna actually get movie dolls. While we all know that Mattel used to do dolls for every single Monster High movie, it does not seem like that's going to be a thing for Generation 3. Although, I do believe the designers are trying to get us pieces that are at least somewhat screen accurate for the new dolls, because between Core Refresh and Monster Fest and Welcome Committee and Scaradice, we're getting a lot of doll pieces that are looking like they could be used to recreate looks in the movie. Like, particularly with Core Refresh Frankie, they straight up just have the shoes that were worn in the movie. Like, they just straight up have the shoes. They're not 100% accurate, but they're about as close as you're gonna get. And I believe that's the same thing with Lagoona and Clawdeen as well. Like, Clawdeen, they literally used her Core Refresh shoes on their movie doll and just repainted them. But without further ado, and without further rambling, let's get into it character by character, starting from the simplest to recreate and going to the more complex. First up is Frankie. Frankie, I would say, at least for their promo outfit, is the easiest look to recreate from the Monster High movie. They do actually wear this outfit briefly in the film for the scene where they are all sitting at the table, going over what ingredients Draculaura needs for the spell of releasing. But other than that, Frankie's movie outfit for the promo for the first movie is definitely the easiest to recreate, because a lot of it is just sourcing pieces from other dolls. A lot of it is very beginner friendly because it's just like any other restyle. If you want to paint your doll's nails, gunmetal gray acrylic paint. Yes, it has to be acrylic paint because nail polish does have a little bit of acetone in it, and acetone on doll vinyl long term is not great. There's a reason that if you do repaints, you're supposed to wash the acetone off. If you're putting nail polish on your dolls, you're not doing that. You're just letting it sit there and eat away at the vinyl and causing it to get sticky and gross over time. So again, this is my little PSA. Never put nail polish on your dolls. Yes, I know it looks pretty. It's a bad idea in practice. It is such a bad idea. A lot of us had to learn the hard way in our childhoods. A lot of us customizers have kind of had to preach that now as a result. We all learn. Anyway, nail polish aside, Frankie's makeup is also very simple. If you do like to do partial repaints, you don't have to, but if you want a more screen accurate look, you really just need green, sort of a pale shimmery one, a pale shimmery blue, gunmetal gray, same shade as the nail polish, nail polish, same shade of paint, and a coral reddish pink for the lips. The color that I used is called Fire Coral from Folk Art Acrylic, and it's very easy to, water down and get nice layers for that, for the doll. Very, very simple, very fun, and of course you'll want a sealant spray because it is a red, so if you don't seal it properly, there is a chance that it'll stain the vinyl over time. Just the heavier pigments tend to do that with acrylic paint, so it's best to spray seal your faces anyways if you're doing any sort of paint modification to them. Earrings-wise, coffee break, little screw bolt for one ear, and right now I have their signature 1 lightning bolt earring, but Core Refresh, as I've stated earlier, has been coming out with pieces that are screen accurate-ish, and for Frankie, the pink lightning bolt earrings that come with Core Refresh are absolutely a very good one to use, so once that doll is out, I know what I will be replacing this with. Now, as for the shirt, very, very easy to source. This is just from Skulltimate Secrets Iridescent Frankie. I did add a ribbon tie, which I have sewn underneath the collar, but you can always just cut the faux latex collar off and substitute the tie with the tie from Amped Up Frankie or Coffee Break, repainted to be blue with the white stripes. And then the belt is definitely a little more difficult to translate one-to-one in doll form. The easiest thing that I've seen that someone suggested that isn't a signature G1 Frankie belt repainted is from the Fire Dress Barbie Fashionista pack that's got just a transparent green chain belt with a little heart buckle. You can use that. Barbie fashion packs are fairly inexpensive. I did not go for that one because I didn't know it existed, and I had already repainted this for another doll project ages ago. So I just went with what I had, but that is one that I have seen suggested, because I did a Twitter thread specifically about this outfit a long-ass time ago. And by a long-ass time ago, I mean about a month ago prior to filming this video. Now, as for the torn leggings, these are from Clawdeen's G3 signature doll. They are just the leg warmers that I sliced the fronts open on so that it can have the torn look. They don't go all the way down the leg, unfortunately. They are only knee length, which is not screen accurate. So to cover up that sort of mistake, we have these boots from Demi Battista. Are they screen accurate? No. Again, Core Refresh is the one that's going to have the screen accurate shoes, but I would have to make full leggings for that, and I'm disabled. I don't have the spoons for doing all of that, especially because leggings and pants can be absolutely torturous to sew for me in particular. There's a reason why I'm not particularly fond of making that sort of clothing in particular. I'm more used to shirts and dresses. They're a little easier for me. But yeah, that's Frankie. Difficulty level for them is probably, I would say, a 1.5 out of 10. I think the trickiest part of them really is just the braids in the hair, getting them the appropriate length and placement may be difficult, especially if you're not used to doing your doll hair and outside of the factory style. And as far as base doll goes, for affordability, I would recommend using Ice Island. That is what I used. You'll want the longer neck anyways because of the tie. And Ice does have the longer necked Frankie right now. That is the easiest one to get a hold of. That is the cheapest base doll to get a hold of. I would recommend going with them rather than any other Frankie. Plus, this Frankie has the blue stripe on the correct side for the movie, so it is very, very good to go with Ice Island. I would recommend them if you're going to recreate this movie look or any look from the first movie. Anyway, on to the next character. After Frankie comes Clawdeen. Now, the reason I rank her difficulty level a little bit higher than Frankie's is because a little bit more sewing and modification is required for Clawdeen's, and while I would like to think that in a perfect world, hand sewing to modify doll clothes is perfectly beginner friendly, the fact of the matter is it's not a skill that everyone has, and it is a skill that some people will need help with, or need to learn how to do. So for that reason, I would put her difficulty level right off the bat, maybe a 3 out of 10 to a 4 out of 10, depending. Now, for her, a lot of it is sourcing pieces from her signature doll and just putting them on a doll that has Saran. Now, you can use Monster Ball. I used Monster Ball for this, but Mattel themselves used Core Refresh for theirs, and it's because of the purple that she has at her part line, and you can absolutely do that. She is easier to get a hold of as well, and cheaper than Monster Ball. Monster Ball is $30, Core Refresh is $24.99, so it is a little easier to get a hold of. The earrings are from Claude on one ear and the one that she came with on the other. They're not 100% accurate to the movie, but they look good enough, so I left them there. Glasses are from her first signature G3 release. Her face has partially been repainted in the sense of I removed the dog nose, just to let the actual sculpt of the nose show through, or, just be like she is in the movie, or in G1, because she didn't have the painted nose in G1. And then I repainted her lips a while ago. They're not screen accurate, but they look cute. I believe she has a completely different shade of pink for the movie, but this looks good enough, and I like it. I don't want to change it. The main part of repainting for her would come for the ears. Clawdeen does have purple ears in the film. It's purple fur. That's what it's supposed to be. You don't have to paint the whole ear. I did not do it. I did sort of like a subtle gradient from the base vinyl color to a darker purple at the tips. And then the ears themselves, I went in with like a lighter lilac color and a pink and a little bit of white to sort of give it that texture to make it look like it's painted like fur. That was a very wordy sentence. I am so sorry. The moon claw necklace from her signature G3 doll, very easy to use. Same with the belt. You just cut the dangly bit off of the belt. For the shirt, you will want the older batches of G3 Signature Clawdeen's moon print shirt, because right now, G3 Signature Clawdeen is not available in most big box stores. You would have to go to a dead stock store or Amazon warehouse to get her at this point, unless you can find her elsewhere. But like Target doesn't carry the original G3 Clawdeen anymore, and even if they did, it would be the tiger stripe variant of the shirt. You will want the moon print version specifically, and that's only on the earliest batches of G3 Signature Clawdeen. So that's screen-ish accurate. And then also screen accurate, the fur coat. Now, you could use Haute Couture Clawdeen's coat, but I would not recommend that, because Haute Couture Clawdeen is immensely popular and incredibly expensive on the secondhand market if you don't already have her, and that's a lot to go through just to buy for a doll for a fur jacket. This is made from the fur vest that came with G3 Signature Clawdeen. It's made from 2 of the vests. I just cut one in half, ladder stitched up the sides. It's faux fur, so it blends in very well. And then, added them to the armholes, sewed them in properly, and it's a functional jacket. For cheap. Least expensive thing that I've ever had to modify in terms of clothing for dolls. And it's very fun, very easy. Nail polish color for Clawdeen in the movie is purple, so I have purple on her as well. Again, acrylic paint. Only ever do acrylic paint for dolls, and you do have to seal it either with spray or brush-on glaze. A brush-on acrylic glaze is always better to do for the nails, just because it's a smaller scale and it's a lot safer, and you can do it indoors without having to get too much of a mess going, too much PPE. Just you can do the brush-on sealant for acrylic on here, and it's a lot easier. Her skirt is just the overalls from her G3 signature doll that have been obviously cut. Sorry, Clawdeen, have to show them. And ladder stitched together to create an invisible seam so that she can have that. You can add a crotch catch too so that it sits properly. I did not do that because I did this lazily one Sunday morning. And then shoes. I sourced these from Daria Roslin from Rainbow High. I don't really know a good option for her screen-accurate shoes for this specific look. And if you really want to be 100% screen-accurate, when she has this outfit on in the movie, has black leggings. I did not do that because I do not have doll leggings that are opaque, that are just solid black, and I'm not about to make them because, as stated previously, making leggings, not my strong suit, not something that I actively want to spend time doing, not beginner friendly. I'm still fairly new to sewing. I've been sewing for damn near 15 years, but it's still something I struggle with, so I didn't do it. But if you know a doll that you can source them from, by all means, go for it. You could also just use fishnet leggings, but it would not be screen accurate. Anyway, on to the next character. Next would be Draculaura. Now, Draculaura, if you want a more screen accurate look, and you're going to get tired of me saying screen accurate in this video, does require a partial repaint. Again, partial repaints are always optional, but if you want her movie makeup, it's a peach tone and then a cat eye sort of bright pink that goes out. And by bright pink, I mean I used... Hang on, let me get the bottle of paint. So for Draculaura's eyeshadow, the pink, specifically, the deeper pink, is Royal Fuchsia from Americana acrylic paint mixed with white. And obviously watered down heavily. You need to thin your acrylic paints so that they aren't so chunky. And that is what she's done. I don't know why her eyes came out so glossy. Mr. Super Clear is weird sometimes. And only her eyes did. The rest of her face came out matte, and then I glossed the lips separately because I like glossy lips on dolls. But as for her lipstick, it is fuchsia mixed with a sort of purpley color, and it gets to more of straight from the bottle fuchsia at the center. And I gave her G1 style fangs, but you don't have to do that. I just wanted her to have a little bit more of the smile look that G1 fangs had, where it looked more like an open mouth smile. In my head, I was like, it makes sense. In the movie promo, Draculaura is showing off her fangs a lot and smiling a lot, so it just makes sense. And I like the vibe that it has. It turned out really cute. So, I will advocate for the usage of G1 style fangs on Draculaura in the future. I think it's cute. Base doll, I would recommend using Day Out Draculaura just because she is the easiest to source price-wise. Locale-wise, I don't know. If you want one with chest articulation, like if that's do or die for you, then obviously Core Refresh would be the one to go for because she's got the bangs already correctly cut, and you just need to take the pigtails down. But I also would recommend Day Out Draculaura because she came with the pink shirt that has the correct puff sleeves in the correct sheer material. So I didn't have to sew a shirt from scratch. I did have to sew this black dress slip from scratch, though. So that would bump her difficulty level up a little bit in order to recreate this specific look. And even then, it's not 100% accurate. I am missing the black bat collar. I did not do that. So she's wearing her cloak from her G3 signature doll because I do want to hide her neckline just a little bit. Why is it coming loose? Don't do that. The leggings are from Crystal Bailey, but you can source them from Core Refresh now. And the shoes, if you want screen accurate, you can just use her G3 signature shoes, but I kept her in Day Out's shoes because I think they're cute. And then the bracelets are from Rainbow High. Honestly, with bracelets, they're not necessary, but to me, they complete her look. So I have them on there. And then this little cabochon thing, I stole this off of a holiday Barbie that I thrifted ages ago, so I don't even remember which year it was, and honestly, I would not recommend trying to track it down. You could use metal, but I don't like to use real metal on dolls very often because it can stain their vinyl, so it was just like, oh, let me just take this little electroplated plastic from this Barbie doll that's never going to see the light of day ever again anyways. And I put it on here. I threaded a ribbon through it and tied it around back, so it's like a cute little belt. Because I had to sew the dress slip, which the pattern I did for this is just based off of the very simple Rainbow High slip dress. Very easy to recreate if you know how to sew. That puts her difficulty level maybe at a 5 out of 10. Just like, if you know how to sew, it's going to be very easy. If you are learning to sew, it's maybe going to be a little bit trickier. But still overall, a very easy doll to eventually put together. Now, the main 3 ghouls are all relatively simple, easy to do at home. Lagoona is not. Lagoona is a character that I, honestly, would only recommend the most dedicated customizers to recreate looks from for the movie, because you are going to have to do everything from scratch with her. Not a single piece that she wears in that movie, or the second movie for that matter, except for, I think, the blue varsity look, can be sourced from existing Monster High clothing pieces. The iridescent shorts, not a thing that exists in any doll line that are easy to get a hold of. I had to make those from scratch using a pattern ripped from her signature G3 tie-dye ruffle shorts. This shirt, this mesh shirt, I had to pattern rip off of the iridescent bell sleeve shirt. And the tube top underneath, I had to modify from the pattern of the Rainbow High Crystal Bailey tube top. Just downsize it, make it fit Monster High. That's the vibe, that's the idea. The jewelry you can source from existing Monster High dolls. So she's got this bracelet that I just added a little bit of pearly metallic paint to, but this is from Monster Ball. That's probably one of the easier pieces from this look to source. As is this necklace, which is just iridescence necklace, but with gold accents instead of coral pink. The earrings are from Creepateria Cleo Denial in G1. They're the easiest ones that I could find that sort of match the look. Her hair completely had to be rerouted in order to have her movie blend, because Mattel is probably never going to give us a pink-haired Lagoona Blue with her movie hair blend. As disappointing as that is to say, as much as I want an official doll to have it, because it is very pretty, it's not something that I logistically see them doing. But it is very pretty, and if you want to do screen accurate, I would recommend Saran. I bought mine from Shimmerlocks in the shades Lilac Breeze, Cyber Pink, Seafoam Green, and Maelstrom Blue. Blue is sort of like the underdye, then a little bit of green sparsed in there, then lilac, and then finally pink. And she obviously needs like the braids going into the twin tails. I tried my best to give her hair a little bit of a beach wave. It kind of worked. I made her in September of last year. You've seen her in another video or two already. This starfish necklace, I sourced the starfish from a Littlest Pet Shop accessory pack. I painted it gold after piercing a hole in it. But overall, Lagoona's difficulty rating, because she had to basically be built up from scratch, is the only character that I would put at a 10 out of 10 for difficulty level of trying to recreate most of her movie looks. Especially if you go for anything from the second Monster High movie, which I have done, her party dress. That is definitely 10 out of 10 difficulty level. Only do it if you really want to dedicate yourself to, like, the ground up, making your own patterns, because these clothing pieces do not exist on actual dolls that you can just go to the store and buy, unfortunately. Obviously, you don't have to make them yourself. There are doll clothing makers on Etsy that are probably more than happy if you commission them to make the pieces. I've seen people go to doll clothing makers to get custom-made stuff before. That is always an option. But if you really wanted to source her outfits from already existing doll pieces, it's not gonna happen, which is unfortunate. Shoes-wise, that's a different story. Shoes-wise, if you want like a sort of good enough doll version of the shoes she wears, Iridescent shoes, and for now, Georgia Bloom from Rainbow High's shoes, but in the future, Core Refresh's shoes are actually going to be more accurate. So, Core Refresh for the shoes, that's just a general thing, honestly, for like the promo looks that the ghouls wore for the Monster High movies. Yeah, Lagoona is a solid 10 out of 10 in terms of difficulty level. Anyway, that is all the time that I have for you in this video. In conclusion, the movie looks are very, very much something that translate well into doll form. Very well, actually, and something that I would like to see Mattel actually go down the route of doing officially. But we all know it's probably not going to happen, likely due to licensing reasons with Nickelodeon for some forsaken reason. Who knows? Who knows? But it's probably not going to happen ever. At least not while G3 is still running, I don't think. Maybe for an anniversary thing if they care enough, but it probably won't happen. They do at the very least know that collectors have been wanting movie looks as official dolls. They've acknowledged that much. Whether or not we're actually going to get anything out of that beyond the promo dolls that they did in September of last year is beyond me. I unfortunately am not privy to any information about that. But that is all the time I have for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know which look from the movie you would try to recreate, or which one was your favorite. Which character would you try to do that I haven't done? I've only done the core 4 Monster High characters. They can try to push Deuce as a core character as much as they want, but his outfits from the movie were not different enough for me to warrant including him in this video, because they are basically just the outfits that he wore on his signature doll for G3. Like, it literally just is the same thing, 1-to-1. It's just he's green as a doll and human skin tone in the movie. So, I didn't bother with him. But, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. For real this time, bye-bye.